things that you work and you want to work on a project and said, okay, the names of things that are coming must be in an ordered manner. So then you know, okay, you have to make use of the tree map if it is the key and value. So if you don't care about how it drops, how data drops, then you can make use of the hash map. So that's one of the difference. They are not the framework just for you when you want to store much data and also and you want to put everything inside a link so that it's going to come in an array. And so depending on how you want to use it. So that is majorly what it does. So today now, if you said you want to look into the queue. So what the queue does, the interface, the queue has their own priority queue and the linked list. So what the queue normally does, just like, okay, it's just like the word queuing. It's the same thing, the workflow is the same thing. They add data. That's what they do also. So for instance, if you see this example now, it is still the same thing. It is still the same thing that other collection framework perform. So what the queue does, so it's just like, okay, it has the same portfolios, it has the same, if you want to remove the data, it has all those things are methods. You said, okay, these ones, it is not that, okay, it comes from. So for instance, you can just say, okay, you have the queue. So it takes care of this queue, makes use of the linked list, and it makes use of the priority queue as well. So for instance, now we said queue always did what? It has the method which is first in, first out. So in the sense that if the methods want to come, once it drop, if you want to remove any method, it's going to remove the one that first entered the array. That's what it does. Maybe now you want to write a logic and then, okay, just make use of something after you put in all the data. I will want the one that entered first should come out first. So for instance, I said, okay, q dot add, let's say, okay, 40. So the one that come out first is the 10, followed by 20, followed by 30, followed by 40. So this one is the normal thing. It's going to print the queue. But this is the method that you can use to remove the element. It doesn't come from it. It's just like, okay, once you open it, you see different method. This is the remove. This pick. It's always that you want to see everything. That's what it does. You can see this is add here, this, and if you want to see the size. So all what you can just do that, okay, maybe during the week, you can just go through all the methods that is inside it.
Okay.
So it has different method that you can interact with. So in case when you are writing the code, you no, okay, Q adds also method and all. There's no need for you to cram or anything. So even though if you check online, okay, I want to solve this problem, there way you can solve it. You see some guidelines. All these tutorials and all just for you to have an insight of what you want to do. But once you have the basics, you'll be able to interact with it.
Okay.
So the rinse is going to remove the element, so it's going to remove the first element because what the queue does is what the first in, first out. So I'll send this folder to your email after the class to you so that you see everything inside there. So you can see what it does. From the results here, it prints the normal one, 10, 20, 30, 40. Removed element, the element that we removed is it removed the first one. You know, we did not specify that, okay, remove the first one. So once you say remove, you already know that, okay, it's going to remove the first data that entered first. So that's why the element in the queue is what? So it's going to remain 20, 30, 40. So that is what the queue does.
Please, can I asked yesterday for all those codes we did yesterday. You didn't
And that
send.
is why I said after today's class, I don't want to be sending about. So I said I'm going to send all this folder to your email. I said it not quite long.
Okay.
Yeah, I said so. So that's why I said a queue is a data structure that follows the first in, first out principle, where the first element added to the queue is the first one to be removed. You can see in Java, the queue interface is part of the JavaScript package and has several implementations, such as the linked list, priority queue, and the array dequeue. So this is what the linked list does. This is the example. So once you go through it, you will understand better. This priority queue, what it does, it works with orderliness. It is still the same thing. You can see, for instance, like we said, the hash map and the tree map. So this now the queue and the priority queue. So it's going to rearrange the orderness. Okay, this press this 10, here you can see we said 10, 30, 20. So now let me add, let me just add like 60 to it. So it's going to rearrange it. That's what it does. And it's still the same thing. If you want to remove, it's going to remove the first one that comes in first. So that is all the main, so when you are talking of other lineage, so that okay, you make use of the priority queue. So that's all the difference between both of them. They perform the same function. You can see. So from here, it prints normal 10, 20. So after it remove the first one, it rearrange the data. So there are some other methods under it. Once you go through it, you practice it, and you will understand. So it is not something that, it is very simple. It is very simple. And you can only make use of them when you want to store array of data, when you want to store much data than all.
Okay.
So that's what the major thing, that okay, you want to store much data, you want them to be in ascending order or descending order. So that's okay, which am I going to use? You can see that from here now. If you want to still use the array list, you can still use it. But if you are writing a method, it depends on the method that you want to communicate with. Maybe, okay, this thing, I want the first one should be out. But if it is an array, you have to put the index that you want it to be out. But here, once you say remove, you already know that it's going to remove the first one.
Yeah, I get it.
So here now we also have array dequeue. What this one does is going to arrange it in descending order. You know this priority queue, it's arranging it in ascending order, okay, 10, 20, 30. But this one is going to arrange it from descending order from the back then to the front. So that's what it does. For instance, now, okay, let me add some against to it, you can see. So we you know these ones, we have add first and we have add. If we said add first, then it's going to rearrange it in descending order. But if we said just add, it's not going to rearrange it. So we are still going to practice that one too. But it is still the same method. So many methods under it that you just need to go through. Anyone that you now understand, you can ask and all. So, but it's efficiency is like when we are working, that is when you can make use of them. So you can sit down, arrange it in descending order. 30, 20, 10. You can see it removed the what? The first in 4 times. So it's already assumed that okay, 40 is the first one. Since in order of rearrangement, 40, 30, 20, 10. I don't know if you understand.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is what does. You can see it's already arranged 10, 30, 20, 10. Now we also have method. That one is just add. It is not add first. So that one is not going to rearrange it at all. You can just say okay, 10. You can see that it doesn't rearrange it. Because if you want to arrange the that you use the method add first. if you want it to be rearranged. But if you don't want it to be arranged, or you just want him to remove the first in first, the first in first, and then just going to remove it. So once you communicate with the methods, you're able to understand or to work, you know that okay, this is what you want to do and this is how you want to do it. So this, once you understand this basis very well, then you are good to go in solving problems. So it is not abstract, it is just step by step way of solving the problem. And that is all about the queue, and the other today's class will not much. So one thing about stack, the difference between the queue and the stack is just like the queue is the first in, first out. Why the stack is the what? The last in, first out. So, and it makes use of push and pop. Push is means that you can use the push to add data the way you use add in the queue. So pop is used to remove from the queue, from the stack. So that's the work of the last in, first out. So the one that entered last will be the one that will go out first. So this is just a simple example of it here. It's just stack, just the same flow. So since you are using IntelliJ, once you put it, it's going to bring the flow. You can be pushing elements into the stack. That's what it does. It's when you say that, okay, you want to remove the last one. So it depends on maybe you are writing a project or you want to build a project. So and inside the project, you really know that okay, this one I want to make use of the last in, the one that entered last will be the one that will go out first. So there is no way that other than okay, you already know that you want to make use of stack. So from there you will get it and you can see this one, the way you use remove, it is being used pop. That's like JavaScript. So that's what it does. Is so you can see the last one has been removed. So no, I will even send a mail to you this night. Once we are done, I will send it to you. I'll send the folder to you. And the last one is iterator and the collection example. What this iterator does is very simple. It does like a for loop.
Increase the font. I really can't see very well.
What did you say?
Can you increase the font?
See if I can do that. Can you see it now? Hmm?
Maybe something, but okay, let's just go ahead.
So one thing about this iterator, what it does, just that it iterates through the list, set, and map. That's what it does. You can see we already have a list of integers of an array list. So you can see you add those elements. It works like for loop. That's what it does. You're able to iterate through it and to interact with the data that you have there. So you can iterate through it, maybe if it is a list, if it is a set, if it is a queue. So any data structure that implements the iterator interface. So that's what it does. For instance, here now, you said numbers, you add it just like normal array list, 10, 20, 30. You added it, and what it just is just like, okay, you try to iterate through it. can see that now obtaining an iterator for the list. Then you initiate an iterator. So after you initiate an iterator. What this action as next does is just that it iterates through the list. Maybe there is still anyone. If there is anyone, then it's going to make sure it's got everything that's inside the list. That is the work of this as next method. You can see it returns true if the iteration adds more elements. In other words, return true if next would return an element rather than throwing an exception. So it's going to capture all the things that is inside the element. So that's what it does. So it just make sure it's going to be in form of while loop. So this iterator dot as next. So after writing this condition, then you iterate through it, then you get the number. So it's more or less like fetching something. That's what it does. That's what the iterator does. So it is not something one's used frequently and all. You can see. It just said number 10, 20, 30. What it even it's same thing as for loop. If you use for loop through, we iterate through all the list. So you might decide to use it and you might not decide to use it. So just know that okay, this thing exists. Because what the for loop does is the same thing as what it does also. So that's just thing about the iterator, and so you can, if it is set, so you can iterate through the set and you can iterate through the queue. So the last one, which is the collection example, what this collection does is just like it helps you to collect all the data. So you can see, and it has different methods also. So the same thing as the iterator. After writing your list outside, so it says sorting the list using the collection class. For instance, you have you have different elements and you want to sort them. So you might say that okay, you might just ask you to write a logic that will sort also number in. So let me just say, okay, this one is 70. So and you want to sort the number. So we can make use of collections to sort the number because it has the method which is called sort. So maybe you have many arrays of number and they ask you to sort the number. So there's no need for you to write much logic or anything. Just add all those elements inside the number, then you make use of this sort. So it is just a method. So it has much method as well. So you can see it has reverse, it has binary search, it has sort. So once you want to know the one that you want to use, if you check this bracket, then you know that okay, this is list. Because if you want to make use of, because it has many from distance now, this one it has list, it has key, it has super. Then you know that okay, you can't use it for array list. You can use it maybe when you want to use map and all. So from here now you can see that okay, this one has list. That is why. So then you put the what? The variable. So as you can see that it has sorted the stuff 30, 10, 20, 70. So there's no need for you to write much logic or anything that okay, you want to write logic that will sort something. So maybe you have so many variables and they say okay, you want to sort them, then you can make use of the collections.sort. So just in most of the time, once you know okay, this thing exists. So when you want to solve problem, you can go back to them. You can still assume that okay, you are set to write a logic that okay, that you should reverse the number that is inside the array. It has the method too that can reverse it. So instead of writing much logic to reverse, I iterate through it and all. So you can see that it does the same thing. So it's going to reverse them and put them the way it's supposed to be. So that's just the little method around it. And so once you go through each collection framework, interact with the methods under them, and you understand them very well, then when you want to use it, you'll be able to use it efficiently. So once we are done with the class, I'll send it to your email. I don't know if you get it right.
Yeah, but I have to go through it to be honest.
Yeah, no problem. Once you go through it, so
I think we have a new person in our midst,
okay.
Mr. David or Mrs. David.
Yeah, I just joined today.
Ah,
Oh, you just joined today. Oh.
ah.
Well, apparently there are some videos you have to catch up on in terms of like
Okay.
past class. Yeah, I would talk to Mr. Emma. He would point you to where the
All right.
videos are. Yeah, sure. Follow as much as you can. Right now, if you can't get anything, I don't know if you can, but yeah, you know.
Okay.
So once you go through it, so maybe during the next class or even during the week, you can chat me up so then we can create time to explain the ones that is not clear.
All right.
So Mr. Femi, I don't know if you have any addition because we talked
No,
about the
no,
queue and
no, I'm
the
good.
stack. What did you say?
No, you said everything. Man. You said everything.
I think that's all for today's class. I don't know if there's any input and Mr. David. So once you go through it, if there's anything, so we can do the quick revision so that you'll be able to meet up because next class we are starting with database.
Okay. I think the class is every Saturday and Sunday, right?
No,
Friday,
Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday, Sunday.
So from 2 p.m. What time does it start? 2 p.m.
Where are you? Where are you presently?
I'm in US.
Okay, in US on Friday it's 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. On Saturday it is 11 a.m. Yeah, on Sunday it's 2 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's it's time.
Yeah.
Right.
So how do I get the videos, the past videos?
You can talk to Mr. Imo. He's going to get that across to you.
Mr. Who?
Imo Kabot. Are you in the
Oh.
group chat?
No. But I could ask Eddie to add me up though.
No problem.
All right, so
So today's class is kind of fast. I thought you guys started at 2 o'clock.
And it's because of what we want to cover is not something that it is what we've been working on since yesterday. So we just have to finish it up today. And if we say if you start the new class with the new topic today, there might be confusion and so kind of misunderstanding. So that is why you want to push it to the next class.
Okay. So how long has this class been? Like when did it start?
I think this is the third or fourth weekend, I think.
Oh, okay. I wish I knew on time though.
No, you can still catch up and all. So that one is not a
And what
problem.
always catch up. Just watch the videos. If there's any question, we are always here to answer and go
okay.
through it. We don't mind the pain of going through it all over again and then yeah, sure.
All right, thank you.
So I think that's all for today.
All right.
Shane, are we clear? Are we good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sheung. Madam Sheung.
Yes,
How far now?
I'm fine, thank you.
The big holla you.
Well done.
Yes, sir.